Blog Talk Radio.
Carol the Coach. Sex, love, and relationships. We talk about it here.
Carol the Coach. Compassion with contemporary relevance.
I am a psychotherapist. I can be your personal life coach, and I can help you with your issues. There are no problems too small or too big. You can talk about anything.
Speaker, columnist, radio TV host, and commentator. Carol the Coach brings messages of wellness and empowerment within reach of everyday people every day.
Almost 5 years ago, I lost my soulmate in an accident. He was killed in a plane crash. Life just, for me, has seemed to stop.
There are groups all over the city. I teach one. It is a specific way to start thinking so that you shift how you see the world, which then shifts your energy, and then you feel better and you actually see things differently.
Carol the Coach. Always available, too, at carolthecoach.com.
Now, I've got Russell on the line.
I'm 47 years old. I'm a truck driver. I am married. I have a wife in San Francisco.
Okay.
I haven't been home in 6 months. My thing is, I don't know if I have a sex addiction or what the problem is. Why do I want what I can't have? And as soon as I can have it, I don't want it anymore.
You're right on target when you say, I don't know if I have a sexual addiction. Well, guess what? Yes, you do. And you know what? That's my specialty, Russell. So you're at the right place. Continue.
I meet women online, and I'm in a different part of the country. I travel all 48 states, so I love sex.
I hear self-esteem issues. You never felt good enough, and you didn't feel like you were getting what you should have then, and you're reenacting that now. Do you want to change that about yourself?
You get what you need. Oh.
Yeah, Russell wants to know, does he want to change that about himself? And why does he want to know that? Because it is so important for Russell to assess his own situation. You know, there's nothing worse than being a trucker and parking your truck out at the trucker stop, and there's women knocking on your door. And if you don't answer, their pimps think your truck is free, and they rob the truck. I mean, there are just so many situations we don't understand when it comes to people and their disorders. And sex addiction in and of itself is unfortunately quite a problem. And so I was going to talk with you today. I wanted to talk with you about what is going on, right? I mean, what is happening with sex addiction? And what I do believe is that it is so important for us to understand what needs to happen next. What can you do when we've got so many issues, so many temptations? And you know what? You can't do this on your own. You've got to be able to know what to do. That's right. I am Carol Jurgensen-Sheets, and I just want you to know that I realize that this is really rough. It is really tough. And that is why I want to help you with sex addiction. Now, the truth of the matter is that there are just so many issues, right? We know that they happen. We know what to believe. And so I want to talk to you today about the brain science of partner betrayal. I'm going to move my mic a little bit closer to make sure that you hear me. Brain science of sex addiction. Well, the truth of the matter is that most people want to know why he did what he did. They don't understand. If you're married to a sex addict, you may ask, what's wrong with me? And you may not be able to distinguish between his addiction and the relationship you had with this man. Now, when your spouse discovers your sexual addiction, there's no doubt that she was in shock and disbelief. You know, she naturally goes into the negative thinking of, why did he do this to me? How could he have done this to me? And when she goes to that place, she then wonders, what's wrong with her? And that's the last place we want her to go. You know, it's not that she's not appealing. It's not that she's not attractive. And, yes, he had an affliction, a disorder, a problem that he didn't know how to contain. And she's wondering, why did he go somewhere else? You know, why did he go to something else? And of course, that ends up being, what's wrong with me? Because when you're in a relationship and your spouse strays, you think it's about you. But that couldn't be further from the truth. She questions if their relationship will ever work in the future, because she knows she is not going to, in any way, shape, or form, be what he was looking at before, be who he was with. That's not her. That's not what she wants. So she reels in the what's wrong with me. And, you know, she doesn't understand about the brain science of sex addiction. She doesn't. And I really should call it the brain science behind sex addiction, because the addiction started way before her. And it is the result of a chemical addiction. It's the result of a fixation on the dopamine hit. And he is now out looking for another dopamine hit. He's on a quest for the pursuit. That is a type of sex addiction. When a man is more interested in obtaining the sexually addictive behavior than when he achieves it. But she doesn't understand that. You know, he knows that he was in the quest for something different, something novel, something new, and something taboo. And unfortunately, she's thinking, who did I marry? Who is this man? And will I ever be able to trust him again? She doesn't know that his brain was hijacked. Okay. The other maladaptive thought she has is, you know, if he loved me, he could stop. But it's not about love at all. You know, a sex addict compartmentalizes. He puts his urges, his cravings, and his dopamine hit in one box, and his family and her love in another. This sex addiction cheated him of being the man that he could have been. I mean, it robbed him of his values. His laser focus was on how can I get more of what I need. And that's dopamine. That's not a relationship. Now, it is true that sexual compulsivity, it drove him to look at pornography, to have affairs, to go to massage parlors, striptease clubs, web chats, adult friend finders. It was the driving force because his brain was saying, what else is out there? What else haven't I seen? And that was his primary rumination. Now, as a partner, you're ruminating all over the place. But he was ruminating in his addiction. And it not only hijacked his brain, but it robbed him of being in the present. And the truth is, now the discovery has occurred, most men, they so very badly want to be the man that they have always wanted to be. So to do that, we all know that the sex addict, he has to have a good, thorough, comprehensive recovery program. And to have that recovery program means he has to work on his own needs, his own individual recovery separately, while he also works on his relational recovery with the woman he loves, or the man. But the important part is that he work on that relationship and his individual recovery simultaneously. And that is so different than the old school of thought. You know, the old school of thought kept husbands and wives apart from each other. AA programs would say, you work on your side of the road, addict, and she needs to go work on hers. And wow, with them doing that, it would be years before they could come together. But the truth is, after he has that 90 days recovery, and he's willing to do the all-important disclosure to share the truth, there's a whole protocol for them to follow to begin the process of, do you know what it is? It's empathy. Empathy so that she can get into that place where she can begin to trust him again. Now, he has to participate in the 10 recovery tools. And if you go to my website, Sex Help with Carol the Coach, you can go to the resource tab, scroll down, and get those 10 recovery tools. They are so simple. They have to do with going to meetings, having a mentor or a sponsor, reading the book associated with the meetings, doing the hard, internal, transformative work, and creating fellowship. And that can be really hard because sometimes the spouse is jealous of recovery, and she doesn't want him interacting with other people within that recovery program. But you know what? What we know to be true is that is so important. That is such an important component of the 5 recovery tools. Please, if you're listening to this, have your spouse listen with you. Because the other 5 tools are go to a CSAT, a certified sex addictions therapist, get into a therapy group, pray, meditate, or journal, and then this is accountability tools. Most sex addicts that I work with have to take 2 to 3 polygraph examinations a year to keep them on the right track. It's not punishment. And then I want addicts to understand their brains, to understand that neural circuitry in their brain so that they can change it. They can substitute it. You know, you hear in your recovery programs that it's so important for you to have out-of-circle behaviors. Well, that's so you can develop new neural circuitry. New neural circuitry so that you can live the life you deserve. And those 10 tools are crucial to getting you there. That will help you to maintain your individual recovery with a CSAT. And then, because I've developed that new certification program for specialists that want to do good early recovery couples empathy work, I want you to look for an IRCM specialist. That IRCM specialist will help the two of you do the early relational work to begin to negotiate how you can help us feel safe. You want to work on stabilization and safety. And you, as the addict, are going to need to put her first, to work on authenticity, transparency, honesty, and empathy. Those are your four things. Can I hear them again? Authenticity, transparency, empathy, and honesty. Those are the four crucial elements to creating the life you deserve. And you would need that whether you're with anybody or not, because you've been in denial for a long time. You didn't even know you were lying to yourself. And it's time. It's time to get honest, and it's time to get real. And it's time to help her heal. She can heal from the devastation that you've caused as long as you do it with a double dose of putting her first and helping her to heal. Don't forget to get out there and get my new book. It's Help Them Heal. It is coming out June 1st. You can pre-order it for 10% off this month of May at Sano Press. That's www.sanopress. Why do I tell you that? Because it is possible to heal from this situation. But you've got to understand your brain. You've got to know what you need. You've got to have your inner and middle circle behaviors so totally contained that you're living a life of integrity, where you really appreciate your recovery and you appreciate putting her first, no matter what her reaction is. And if you're single, and maybe you've never had a partner, or maybe she walked out the minute she found out, it's going to be a lot harder for you, but you can help her heal. You can help yourself heal by being the best person you can be. And if you've never had anybody, you want to be the best person you can be so you can have a great relationship. The truth is, we were born to be in relationship. And that's the extra challenge I'm going to give you if you don't have anybody. Sex addiction is manageable and it's curable. But you have to put 100% of work into it. Work all those tools, go to all those meetings, create all new friends, and enjoy the life you deserve. So that's the podcast for today. And you know that I so admire who you are and what you're doing. You're better than 85% of them out there. So keep working on your own recovery. If you're with somebody, work simultaneously on your relationship and your individual sobriety. And if you're not, get out there, make friends, find people who can help guide you, and live the life you deserve. Why? Because you do deserve it. That is absolutely what I know to be true, is that you deserve to make your life happen. Thanks for listening. This is Carol Jurgensen-Sheets, a.k.a. Carol the Coach. And I really, really, really want you to put yourself first and make your life happen by following a protocol that works. Okay, there's only going to be one of you at all times. I want you to fearlessly live the life you deserve.